Hi, I'm Anna.
And I'm Jaden.
And today we're going to be talking about international affairs.
International affairs are interactions the U.S. has with other countries. These interactions define our relationship with these countries. Allies and enemies are created depending on the exchanges the president makes with foreign leaders and the president's policies that involve other countries. Differences in religion, governing styles, etc. also come into play when speaking of our international relationships. But we are going to touch on the main contributions that the president has control over and which affect these relationships. Tariffs, trade deals, allies, and troops in foreign countries will be our topics of conversation in this video.
Okay, so we're going to start out this video with a couple definitions so you understand what we're talking about a little better. So free trade is international trade that does not involve tariffs or other restrictions, and tariffs are taxes placed on imported and exported goods. So Trump's ideals for international affairs. He has an America First mentality. We quoted him and said, "It is the right of all nations to put their own interests first." Trump imposes tariffs to get more goods that were made in the U.S. sold to people of the U.S. instead of importing goods from outside of the country.
Biden's ideals for international affairs. Biden wants to restore pre-Trump international norms and place America back at the head of the table when it comes to international affairs. Biden does not endorse tariffs, nor does he oppose them. Whether tariffs are needed or not is circumstantial. Biden does not endorse the America First mentality.
Trump's positions and policies for international affairs. In January 2019, Trump directed the Office of U.S. Trade Representative to withdraw the U.S. from the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which is a 12-country Asia-focused trade agreement that the U.S. had under the Barack Obama administration. January 2017, a travel ban against 6 Muslim-majority countries lasted for 90 days. June of 2017, Trump announces that the U.S. will withdraw from the 2015 Paris Climate Accord negotiated by Obama. June 2017, the U.S. reinstated restrictions on travel and trade with Cuba without serving diplomatic ties. March 2018, Trump announces that the U.S. will impose tariffs on foreign-made steels and aluminum. The administration imposed restrictions on China but exempted Canada and other U.S. aligned states, as well as the European Union. In July 2018, a 2-year trade war with China begins as Trump imposes a 25% tariff on $34 billion of Chinese imports. Retaliatory tariffs imposed by China hit U.S. farmers, importers, and manufacturers. In 2019, Trump shows a preference for bilateral or two-way trade deals as he signed a trade pact with Japan. November 2018, Trump renegotiated the North American Free Trade Agreement, a trade pact with Canada and Mexico. July 2020, Trump states that the U.S. will be dropping out of the World Health Organization in the middle of the COVID pandemic. Trump wants to continue reducing the U.S. presence in Afghanistan, so take the troops out of Afghanistan. Trump is pushing other countries who are part of NATO to increase their financial contributions, as many of the countries are not spending 2% of their gross domestic product on defense.
Biden's position and policy for international affairs. Biden plans to pull the vast majority of troops out of Afghanistan. He wants to strengthen alliances with democratic nations that were neglected during the Trump administration. He wishes to lead a summit along world democracies and non-governmental organizations to seek a common agenda to protect shared values and protection of human rights. Biden also wants to rejoin the Iran nuclear deal, depending on Iran's cooperation. He wants to cut off aid to Saudi Arabia in its war against Yemen. He wants to reevaluate tariffs against Chinese-made goods, but still hold China accountable for their unfair trade policies. He also believes the tariffs hurt the U.S. more than it helped. Biden wishes to look into the trade deals depleted during Trump's administration and reevaluate them. He also wants to renegotiate the Trans-Pacific Partnership for trade. He also wants to invest the U.S. workforce until more stable before looking into free trade agreements.
Jaden and I's endorsement. When it comes to international affairs, the choice between Biden and Trump is not an easy decision. While Jaden and I do not completely oppose Trump's handling when it comes to troops in foreign countries, tariffs, and his devotion to goods being made and bought in America, we believe that Biden would have handled these issues more sufficiently. Biden also wants to pull troops out of Afghanistan, keep some tariffs, and focus on building up the sales of American goods. The way he wishes to do it seems more mature and diplomatic. Biden and Trump would like to hold China accountable for their unfair trade policies, but Biden wouldn't have imposed tariffs that hurt the agricultural and manufacturing business in the U.S. as much. He would have formed a coalition of countries that trade with China to hold China accountable.
Biden cares about international relationships more than Trump does, as he wants to strengthen ties with democratic nations rather than only focusing on the United States. Biden puts the United States' needs first while still being considerate to other countries. Biden also would have recognized the importance of fixing the World Health Organization's mistakes rather than pulling out of the organization completely. And he would not have neglected the climate accord that is dedicated to lessening our carbon footprint. For us, Biden is the best candidate for handling international relationships and issues.